I don't know what the heck is going on, and I don't know what Atari is up to, but there's something going on here. So basically, during the PS3 and PS4 era, especially the beginning of the PS4 era, Ubisoft were releasing a lot of very cool, very unique games, and I don't think that's something that I would ever say, nor ever really consider saying, given where Ubisoft is now. I don't know if people are going to remember games like I Am Alive, Child of Eden, Grow Home, Grow Up. What else was there? There was a Child of Light. There was also stuff like that. Like it was really, really cool stuff. Some very artsy, very artistic things that Ubisoft was doing. And for some reason, Atari has acquired all intellectual property rights to Ubisoft titles like Cold Fear, I Am Alive, Child of Eden, Grow Home, and Grow Up. Which is interesting, and apparently Atari is planning to re-release these titles under its label and explore the opportunities that these games could potentially have. And for those of you guys that don't know, I Am Alive is a side-scrolling survival game similar in ways to This War of Mine in some ways, where a man is looking for his wife and son, I think it was, something along those lines. Grow Up and Grow Home basically revolves around a robot called Bud and is a platformer in that sense. Cold Fear I've never played. Child of Eden is a very, very unique, very colorful game that feels like a good follow-up to what Rez was in a way. Rez is, I don't even, how the hell do I describe what Child of Eden is? Oh my god, that is very difficult to do. It's a very, very unique game. I highly, highly recommend looking it up. Out of all of these games, I'm going to use the PlayStation platform as an example. If I remember correctly, I'm Alive, Child of Eden both came up on PS3, and Grow Home and Grow Up came up on the PS4 generation. So that's kind of the era of time that we're looking at, basically. So basically what Atari is saying is that millions of players have experienced these worlds over the years, and this will be open the door for long-time players to revisit these memories while inviting new audiences to discover them for the first time. And I think that that's excellent. I think that's great. Bringing back some old downloadable titles from back in the day when gaming felt really cool, more so than it does now. I feel like things feel a lot more stagnant comparatively speaking, and I do believe that these games are some of those titles that people should be playing, especially something like Child of Eden. I feel like more people should play that game, and I think that that's like I said, a great idea to bring these games forward, because gaming has gotten a lot bigger since 2010, 2011, so now I do 100% agree with that. Let's see. So Deborah Papernick said in a press release, who is the vice president of Atari, Atari has a rich gaming legacy and deep appreciation for these classic titles. We're excited to see how they'll evolve and connect with players in fresh, meaningful ways, and I do hope that we get new titles and potentially create franchises out of them. Granted, we know that Grow Home and Grow Up are technically a series in a way, because Grow Up is actually a sequel to Grow Home. But yeah, so oh man, okay, so they actually do give us like a brief overview of the title. So Cold Fear 2005 is originally when it came out. Survival horror third-person shooter developed by Darkworks, originally released for the PS2, Xbox, and PC in 2005. Currently available for PC via Steam. I Am Alive, action platformer survival game developed by Ubisoft Shanghai. Originally released for PS3, 360, PC in 2012, currently available for PC via Steam. This is a side-scrolling action adventure. It's probably worth mentioning. And I did say that a Rez follow-up is what this felt like. Yeah, sure enough it was. So Child of Eden 2011, a musical rail shooter developed by Q Entertainment and directed by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who made Rez and Lumines, originally released for the PS3 and 360. So this is still locked off to those platforms, and from what I can recall, Child of Eden, pretty tough platinum as well. So as a trophy head, that's going to be a good one to go for later on. Grow Home, an action platformer developed by Ubisoft Reflections, originally released for PC via Steam 2015 and followed by PS4 later that year. We also have, I did not know that Grow Home never came to Xbox, but Grow Up somehow did. sequel to Grow Home, developed by Ubisoft Reflections, originally released for PS4, Xbox One, and PC in 2016. And that's why Grow Home and Grow Up actually felt a little bit out of place. Now, I did bring up Child of Light earlier on. I thought there was some mention that potentially some of those UbiArt games might also have been coming, but I guess it might have just been smoking something real bad, because that doesn't seem to be the case. But I still do think that it's quite interesting that these titles, they kind of remind me of a better time in gaming where downloadable titles felt significantly more, how would I put it, experimental in some ways. Grow Home, Grow Up, I Am Alive were all downloadable titles. I don't think any of them had physical releases. Child of Eden did have a physical release. Cold Fear, can't speak to that one, just because I personally haven't played it nor heard of it up until now. But it's interesting to see that Ubisoft were the ones who actually ended up publishing the game, even though it was developed by Darkworks, which may or may not have been under Ubisoft during that time. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wasn't really following gaming very closely when I was single digits in age, let's put it that way. But now, following gaming so much more closely, looking at older games, and seeing some of these older titles actually be able to get a fresh breath of life through other companies like Atari is not something that I had ever expected to see or hear. And especially since Atari is still releasing games to this day, albeit that a lot of the games that they are releasing are collections of older classic Atari titles that we expected to see from the sort of third or fourth generation of consoles that were made by Atari before the big video game crash that happened. So if nothing else, at least seeing something a little bit more modern, albeit like, 2005 to 2016 modern, whatever you could kind of call that, or even just kind of in the midst of like the late 2000s in a way. I am still interested to seeing how all of this is going to pan out in the end. And of course, like a lot of these games that are being mentioned in this particular article that are going to hopefully get a new breath of life through Atari, it's worth keeping in mind that these games actually were developed fairly quickly from what I can recall, because again, not only have gaming budgets ballooned to just a staggering level, but also the development times of games. So that's the reason why Ubisoft ended up releasing smaller titles between some of their bigger games, because they had small teams that could work on smaller projects, be able to spit those out a lot more easily, and then be able to work on something else in between. And that's why we also had games from UbiArt like I forgot what the World War I game was called. I know that that's coming out again, like being re-released, and then stuff like Child of Light, for example. So those games as a whole as well. But I'm actually interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. Let me know in the comments below, because this is an absolutely fascinating thing to read. And I saw this and I was like, I absolutely have to talk about some of these older games. Like all of these are actually really good games. So, well, I mean, I Am Alive, of the four that I know of, I Am Alive is the weakest one, in my opinion. But that being said though, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I am aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.